welcome to my very first Facebook live video. I am so super excited and terrified. Right now I am thinking, what was I thinking when I decided to do this? But now we're here and we're going to do this. So I very boldly promised you a live tutorial on a sunflower, and I absolutely love sunflowers. I've been drawing and painting sunflowers since, I don't know, I can remember. My mother still has a sunflower, like a drawing, a vase with sunflowers in her living room. It's ugly, but I mean, she's my mother, so she has to love it. And I've got a huge painting of a sunflower in my living room, sort of a close-up of the inside and just some of the petals. I'll post a photo of it in the comments. But the sunflower we're going to do today is a really simple sunflower. This is perfect for anyone that just wants to get into painting, wants to try it out, and they're not really sure if they can paint. And I have to tell you, anyone can paint. If you follow these tutorials, it's really easy and you can make something pretty, even though you think you can't paint. And I don't want to take up a whole lot of time, so I'm not going to make it too intricate, and it's going to be fun. So let's quickly see what I'm going to do. I've got my laptop open, so I want to try and see the comments, if there are any. And so let me just go out there, and I'm getting a whole lot of messages. Okay, apparently my computer wants to restart to do updates, which is not happening now. That will have to happen later. Okay, so I'm going to try and get to the comments as well. So please feel free to drop me a comment if you're on. You can obviously drop your comments later. I'll go through all of them, I'll read them, and I'll check. Alright, so let me just change this. Oh, and I have to say, I have changed my normal setup. I've tried to bring my camera a bit forward so you can actually see what I'm painting. So this whole rig of mine is sort of balancing very precariously on press stick. So if the whole thing comes down, I'll start again later. So, alright. Okay, let's get started. What I've got here is just plain brown craft paper. It's a nice thick paper. It's about 200 GSM, so this is not normal printer paper. This is a bit thicker. I'm not using a canvas because I am literally just gonna mess around with some paint. This is not something that I'm gonna save, and I wouldn't recommend using this paper if you want to frame it or put it in your house. But this is perfect for trying out because it's not as thin as normal printer paper, so it's not gonna warp and make those little frilly bits of paper that come off. So if you want to practice, I would suggest use a thicker paper. I'm using the brown paper because I like the effect that it has on the background, and if you do miss a spot with the paint, it actually looks really cool, whereas if you miss a spot on a white background, it doesn't always look this cool. So another tip, if you miss spots, if you're afraid you're going to miss spots, color in the whole background beforehand, and then it looks cool. Alright, so I've got my paper. I've cheated a bit and I've gone and drawn a sunflower in pencil because yeah, I don't want to sit here and struggle doing my sunflower live in paint. Next I've got, this is my palette. This is an old microwave dish that I use and reuse. I just put paint on it and then I paint, and then when it's thick enough and dry enough, I just peel it off because I'm too lazy to wash it. I used to do it, I don't do it anymore. What works nice is also, you know, those polystyrene freezer trays that you get your veggies or your meat in. Word to the wise, if you use the ones that you had meat in, I domestos them. I put them in water because you don't want a stinky palette. But something like this works really well. And like I said, I don't wash it, I just reuse it. I'm just trying to think what I use this for, because I've got really lovely colors on here. Oh, the Protea. I did the Protea painting with this. I'm going to do a new tutorial on the Protea painting probably next week. For the Protea painting, I use only primary colors. I use red, yellow, blue, white and black. That's it, and you create the loveliest protea. You won't believe it. Right, so I've got this, I've got water, I've got paper towel. I use loads of paper towel. I've got a whole lot of brushes and paint. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to start with burnt umber, which is a basic brown. Let's get some on there. And I favor flat brushes. I've got some round brushes, but I really do prefer the flat ones. As you can see, they've been used a lot. And I'm going to start with a number 8. This is number 8 flat brush. Get some water and some brown. I'm going to thin it out a bit. And then only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trace my flower. I'm just going to create my outlines in brown. And yes, I know the petals are yellow, but don't panic. Oh, my son is awake. It's okay. His dad is here to babysit. So, but if you hear my son crying, he's not alone in the house. He's got a babysitter, don't worry. He's going to be fed now, so it should be fine. Okay, so we're just going to go all over the edges and create our sunflower. So I've got a whole lot of tutorials planned that I'm working on. The sunflower is just something as a bit of a spur of the moment thing, because I want to try out my Facebook lives and see if it actually works. So if this is a huge flop, please forgive me. This is my first time, but it's gonna be fine. What's the worst that can happen? All right, so quickly do the edges. Oh, I almost dunked my brush in my coffee. I do that so often, putting my brush in my coffee. Luckily, these paints are not poisonous, because I would have known. I would have ended up in hospital long ago. So, there is, ta-da, a sunflower. Alright, so I'm doing like full page sunflower. If you want to do it, you can make it smaller if you want, or use a bigger paper. That's also an option. Now, we're going to start with the inside, because I want the brown on the petals outside to dry a bit. So I'm just going to take my brown, and a bigger brush. Hang on. Okay. I'm a messy artist. That's why I work on these plastic tablecloths. I'm very messy. I usually have paint up to my elbows, and I can't understand why, but watching this video, I'm pretty sure you're going to find out why. Right, so I'm just going to fill in my sunflower on the inside. What do you call this? The inside. It's where the seeds are. I don't know what to call it. So if there's anyone that knows plants, please let me know. Okay, some more water. And then fill it up. You can obviously use whatever paint you've got. It doesn't have to be burnt umber. If you've got a different brown, go for it. This is just a guideline. So I'm just going to fill this in all the way to the edges. Righty, so inside of the sunflower, done. And I'm going to rinse this brush, or I think I should go bigger for the next. Yes. This is also a flat brush. This is a number 12, so it's a nice big one. And I want to do the petals with this one. Okay, so in goes yellow. Okay, and I'm going to use loads and loads and loads and loads of yellow. I'm going to finish this one. Okay, loads of yellow. Okay, now all we're going to do is fill in the petals. This is a bit boring, unfortunately, but it needs to be done. So I'm going to fill in the petals of my flower. Oh, and this is just normal, what do you call it? Cadmium yellow, medium hue. This is just a straightforward yellow. That you've got like a nice bright yellow. So fill in all the way up to that brown line. And then I've got a couple of paint along crafts that I'm working on, especially for Christmas time coming up. I've got a paint along tree, although it's not a painting, it's something that you're gonna paint. It's like a 3D, it's gonna be a 3D. I don't want to give too much away, but it's something that you're gonna be able to paint and actually display for Christmas. Put on your Christmas table. So that will be fun. And then I'm also working on a sunflower craft kit, like a painting kit. If you want to try and do the sunflower, if you're not a painter, if you don't have a whole lot of craft supplies at home and you'd like to try it, I would happily make up a kit with you with a template and brushes. I know paint shops can be a bit daunting, especially if you're not sure what you're going to need, and you don't want to buy 10 and 20 bottles of paint. I would happily make up a kit for you with your paint, your brushes, a nice canvas, not paper, and some acrylic paint. I'm using acrylic paint, it's my favorite. So I would happily make up a craft kit for you. So the yellow goes on nice and thick. I'm painting as fast as I can, but I'm going to do this quickly. It's supposed to be a quick tutorial, but I also want to do a good job. Alright, so I did the inside, just the background, and now I'm doing the petals, basically the background. So I do it in stages so that the inside is now drying while I'm painting the petals. So while the petals are drying, then we'll do the inside, and then the petals can dry a bit. Because if you put on acrylic paint thick, it does take a couple of minutes to dry completely. Okay. So this doesn't need to be perfect. It's not high art. It's just a bit of fun, but we want it to look pretty. So, okay, I'm almost done. Right, some more yellow. Okay, so my the craft kits, I'm working on, like I said, the Christmas tree one, and I'm working on a Protea one. Hopefully sometime next week I'll do a Protea paint along. And what's nice about the Protea paint along, like I said earlier, we use only primary colors. Red and yellow, blue, white and black. And you won't believe the nice colors you can create just with those primary colors. For today's tutorial, I'm going to try to stick to primary colors as well. I just think it makes life easier if you don't have to go and buy 100 different bottles of paint. Especially if you're beginning. If you've been painting for a while, then obviously you've got loads. But if you're new to this, then you don't want to go and buy loads and loads. Okay, 2 more petals, then we are done. Whoopsie daisy. Okay, so this painting, I should maybe have mentioned this in the beginning. Normally our crafts are for kids. This is more for grown-ups. For the mommies, one for the mommies. I decided I wanted to do something for the mommies as well. And because I like painting, I love painting and being crafty, this seemed like a perfect option to get the mummies going as well. But if you've got a teenager, obviously, or someone, even someone a primary school, you know, if they want to paint along, this is really, really simple, and we're doing it step by step, so you can't really go very wrong. I'm almost done with the yellow. Okay, it's looking a little rough, but don't panic, don't panic. Right, yellow done. Ta-da! Sunflower, and we're done. No, I'm joking. Right, we're done with the petals. We're going to move back to the inside of the sunflower. So in the inside of the sunflower, you've got all your little seeds. But I do not want to go and do all the individual seeds. I've done it. I've done the painting hanging in my living room. Luckily, it's just like a piece of a sunflower, a piece of the inside and a piece of the petals, but it got loads and loads of seeds in it. And I actually sat there and did every seed, and I promised myself, never again. Never again. So, I am going to take some black paint. I've got black, just normal plain ivory black. Let's get some in here. Into my palette. Ooh, that's a lot. Okay, so and then, wait, I need to move my coffee because I keep trying to dunk my my brush in my coffee. So hang on. Cheers. I love coffee. Okay, sorry, I just want to check this laptop of mine. Hold on one seckie. Sorry. Sorry, man. Oh, okay, no slap. There you go. Sorry. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So, moving on. Now, we're going to start with the inside. I've got some black in here, and I've got, this is a number 4 flat brush. Like I said, I prefer flat brushes. I struggle with the round ones for some reason. So with this, we are just going to make some dots along the side. I know it sounds silly making dots with a flat brush, but okay. That's me, but you don't need to use a flat brush. If you're more comfortable with a round brush, then please use it. So I'm just going to make a couple along the side. So a couple of dots all along the side, and I'm going to take off some of the black. And if you don't wash your brush between colors, I've got some black on here still. I'm just gonna mix it into some brown. The technique is called dirty brush. So I am a dirty brush painter normally. So I'm just gonna take some of this black mixed with brown, and I'm gonna do the edge of that inside of the sunflower. When mixing anything with black, just be careful, because black is such a strong color, and it easily just overpowers anything else. So I'm just going to go around to create a bit of an edge. Some more water. Okay, so you want to create the inside of your sunflower. And where you might have gone over the lines with the yellow, you can just now erase it, which is lovely, which is what I like about acrylic paint. If you make a mistake, you just paint over it, really. Okay, so ta-da! You've got the inside and a nice little border. Now, what I've got here is bronze. It's a Dala, the bronze, and I absolutely adore this color. You can't see it in the tube, but when it dries, it's got like a lovely metallic bronze color. So I'm gonna take a bit of this, and it mixes with any other color really nicely. So I'm gonna get my number 8 brush, clean it off a bit. I still have a bit of brown on this, which is fine, and I'm just going to mix some of this bronze with the brown. So you've got like a bronzy brown going. And in the center of my sunflower, I'm actually going to change brushes. Hold on. I'm going to use, okay, this is a number 12 round brush. I don't say I never used round brushes, I prefer flat ones. But this is number 12 round. So I'm going to, because I need something bigger. I think the 8's going to be too small. So I'm just going to use this and literally just go across the center and make a couple of bronze lines. And I'm going to add just more and more and more until, and it's going to create really, really lovely highlights on the background. You'll see. Okay. Don't smudge your dots. They might still be a little wet, so don't smudge your dots. Just look out for that. Okay, so on the inside we've done, ooh, that looks terrible on the camera, but it's going to look nice once it dries, I promise. So you've gone around the edge with a darker color, you've got your dark dots, and you've got your bronzy inside. Now that needs to dry, so we are moving back to our petals. And now I'm taking my number 8 brush and clean it. Okay, so I want a bit of a darker yellow to go over this yellow background. So I'm just going to take orange. This is just normal orange, boring orange. A little bit in there. And I'm going to take some white, titanium white. I only use titanium white for the whites because that is the whitest white. And I love titanium white. It's probably the color that I use the most. So loads and loads of titanium white in there. Okay. Just be careful with white because it can make things a little flat if you use too much. And we want highlights later on. So I'm going to try and stay away from it because I want nice vibrant colors. So I'm taking my yellow and mixing it with a bit of orange because I want a darker yellow. I don't want an orange. I just want a darker yellow. And yellow and orange goes really nice. Sorry. You can use red. But make sure you use a nice bright red. Otherwise your color can become a little flat as well. Sorry, hang on, I'm talking too much. Hold it. So sorry about that. See, that's what's nice about the pre-recorded videos is you don't have to hear me with my frog in my throat. Okay, so I'm just going over the petals with our bright yellow, just on the one side, just like on the one side of the petal, and just making a couple of nice darker areas. Let's mix some more. Ooh, that's very orange still. Hang on. Okay, can you see what I'm doing here? I've tried to change my setup so you can see the actual painting, but it's difficult. And I've only got so much press stick. So yeah, this will have to do for now, but I'll show you what I'm doing. So I'm just adding some darker yellow on the edges. And once again, it's not fine art. You don't have to spend loads of time doing this. Just add in some darker yellow. Nice and thick. Okay. Yeah, on my camera it looks really weird. I don't know. I need to change my light source, but I'll post photos afterwards because it looks really pretty, even if it doesn't come across like that yet. So don't panic. Don't panic. It's just a bit of fun, and we are just getting started. Sorry, I know I promised a quick tutorial, but yeah, we are just getting started. All right, so now I've got, there you can see my darker areas in there. Alrighty, so I'm going to wash this quickly. And the edges of my sunflower has now gotten lost a bit with all this going over with yellow. So my brown, my simple brown that I've got, and I'm going back over the edges just to create my petal lines again. So you can see where each petal starts and ends. And if your yellow is still a bit wet, that's really cool. Don't worry about it. It kind of creates a nice effect if it smudges. I know that sounds stupid, but it really does. Okay, so let's get some brown on there. Okay, so if there's anything that you'd like to see me paint, any tutorials that you would like to do, let me know so I can practice a bit, and maybe do a tutorial. I'm horrible with people and animals though, so please, can maybe stick to like nature and angels. Oh, we need to do an angel tutorial sometime. I think that will be fun. Maybe an angel with a Bible verse. Drop me a comment. Let me know if you'd be interested in doing that. I like nature. Anything in... Oh, okay. I guess animals are part of nature, aren't they? Okay, so I like things like flowers and nature scenes with trees and things. I feel it's much more forgiving than your normal people and animals, because if you get a person's eye wrong, the wrong shape or the wrong place or something, then you end up, with a painting like Picasso's, which, is, I guess, not bad, but unless you're Picasso. Yeah, so no, I don't really do people, and I don't do animals. I've done animals before, and they're really hard to get right. I did a giraffe for a friend of mine for a birthday gift, and she was gracious enough to accept the gift and said it looked pretty, but yeah, the giraffe was a bit wonky, to be honest. It looked a bit funny, but yeah, that's what friends are for. They have to like your art. So yeah, I prefer to do flowers and things like that, easy things, because if you don't get a petal right, I mean, it can still work, because your flowers aren't symmetrically the same. All your petals aren't exactly the same, and then I think that's what makes them beautiful. So if you get a flower a little wrong, you can still work with it. Okay, so I've gone over the edges of my sunflower again. You can see, oh, that bronze is going to look so cute. Right, so now I'm just going to add in some brown, some brown lines everywhere along the edge. So wherever you feel like adding a line, all along the edge, preferably not on the inside, now around the edge. So we're going to do a line there, some more water, and okay, painting should be fun. So it shouldn't be stressful, and if you add in your lines and you don't like it, take it out. Take it out. There's no wrong or right way to do it. As long as you're having fun, it's all good. So all I'm doing is I'm adding some yellow brown along the side, just to create some along the bottom. I've had some brown and yellow on my brush. I'm just gonna take some more yellow. Here's my yellow and some brown, and just add it in, and just gonna do little thingies around the edge, just to create a bit of depth. So, if you can see what I'm doing, all I'm doing is around the edge, putting my yellowy brown for a bit of, I don't know, shadow, maybe, if you want to call it shadows, just to create some movement and depth all around the inside. And there's no, it doesn't need to be perfect, people. It's not high art, it's just fun. Okay, something like that. So all around the edge, my little brown thingies. That sounds so horrible, my little brown thingies all around the edge. Okay, so that is where we are at. I just went around your inside, and I just put in some just brown markings, and then brown around the side. Okay, so I quickly want to do background while the petals dry a bit. And obviously a classic combination is your yellow sunflower with a blue, but I think I might go green. Let me see. I've got, okay, primary blue and Viridian. Viridian is probably my favorite color. It doesn't show as nicely on the screen. It's just this lovely dark green. It's really pretty. It's not a leaf green, but it's really pretty. So let's get some on here. And that's green, leaf green. I'm going to take some emerald green, which is a lovely bright green. Not shocking. There's your what do you call it, green, light green. So this is shocking. It doesn't come through, but you'll see this is pretty shocking. So there's just a nice emerald green. I'm going to use a bit of that, and there, and a bit of blue. This is just normal primary blue, plain old blue, lovely blue. Now if you don't have greens, if you're just using primary colors, if you only got the yellow and the blue, obviously you're going to mix your own green with yellow and blue. And if you're doing green, if you're doing plants, and you've got your primary colors and you're using yellow and green to make yellow and blue to make green, what you do is add a little bit of red, just your normal bright red, a little bit, not too much because you can end up with brown, but if you add a little bit of red to that green, it's going to have a lovely, it makes it a more real green, if that makes, it makes your plants look more real and not so artificial, if that makes sense. I don't know. But yeah, try it. If you're mixing green with yellow and blue, add a little bit of red. It gives your green a lovely, a lovely color. Okay, so I'm just going to dry off. I don't know if this is that flat brush I used earlier. So I'm just going to dry off the excess water. I've still got some yellow on here, so I'm just going to use that, and I'm going to scoop up my two greens. I've got that Viridian and the normal green. I'm going to just scoop up both of them, and I'm just going to do the background quickly. I'm just going to paint in the background, and it's going to create a lovely two-tone effect. If you go over the lines, don't worry, you can just make them brown again later if you want. So some green on the back. Of everything, I hate doing the background the most. I find it tedious and boring, and I don't know, I'm not the best at doing backgrounds, which is maybe why I hate doing backgrounds. But yeah, it needs to be done. You can't have a painting without a background. You can't leave the background. So, get some green in there, but this Viridian. Okay, and I'm going to take some blue. Ooh, that's a lot. A little bit of blue, and I'm just going to add in some swishes of blue, because your blue is going to create shadows and some depth. Okay, move this. Normally I listen to loads of music while I'm painting. I don't have a lot of time to actually sit and paint, because I have to really plan my painting time around whenever my son, he's 2 years old, whenever he's sleeping. So it's usually late at night, or I have an hour and a half to 2 hours stretch during the day if I'm lucky, where he's asleep and I can actually paint. So then I like to just zone out with some good music. Do you listen to loads of music while you craft? Phones and just put it on nice and loud, which I can't do today. So now I'm talking, I've got a bit of a motor mouth, but I don't want you sitting there just watching me paint, which should be dreadfully boring. Okay, so we are almost done with the background, and I love green and blue with sunflower. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's such a classic combination. Whoops. Like I said, if you go over the edges, don't panic. Get some blue in there. And the last bit, this one. Oh, not the last bit, sorry. So if you, I know I've got some American followers, you don't have to do the green. The yellow and the green for me is very summery. Obviously in South Africa we are heading towards summer. I'm so happy. I can't wait. I'm so over being cold. So, but if you are watching this from America or the UK, and you're heading into winter, so you're in fall at the moment, and you can do fall colors. You can do the background something more like a brown or orange, or even a purple. Not too vibrant, you don't want to go too bright, and nice warm colors. Although your purple tends to be, can be a bit colder because it's got blue, but you want nice warm colors to do the background. So if you want to do a fall painting, do your background in something more brown and orange, your lovely fall colors. But yeah, we are heading to summer, so we are going nice bold green. Okay, so I'm gonna grab let me see what I've got here. Brush, this one. This is my number 12 flat. I'm gonna just take a little bit of white and a little bit of yellow, and I'm gonna mix it with a bit of green because I just want to create some leaves or something in the back. So I'm just gonna do like swatches of green leafiness in the back. All right, and I like doing a bit of a stripy effect. So it looks like you don't want to go and sit and paint a whole leaf, but you just want to have a bit of a leaf effect, like so. Something like that. Right. Okay, let's hold this up. And that is my background done. So you can see there I've got loads of blue in to create some depth up here as well, and along the side. Then with my lighter green, I just did strokes, so it looks like a bit of a leaf there and there and there, just to create. Oh, I've got loads of blue in there as well for shadows. Blue creates shadows, so it's cold. Think of a shadow as cold. So blue always creates lovely shadows. So I've got blue in there to create a bit of depth. If you want to do shadows, you can do black as well, although black tends to be very flat and dead. So I like to use blue and maybe add in a little black. Okay, but we're not going to do black today. Alright, now it's time to finishing touch. I promised a quick tutorial, and so yeah, it's time for me to finish. This is a number 3. I think it's a line brush, like that. And I am just going to wet it and get on a bit of white. So all I want is in the center of my, I still haven't figured out what we call this. The center of this thing, we're just gonna score it, do some stripes. So nice white stripes. Oops. I touched one of my dots there that aren't dry yet. See, I've already got paint up to my elbows. Okay, so white stripes. all the way up, across, and then all the way down. Ta-da! There you go. Some white stripes. And then I'm going to use some white on my petals. Just, oh, that's a lot of white. Some white on my petals. Just to give a bit of movement, a bit of something. I like exaggerated colors and lines on my paintings, especially exaggerated white lines on my paintings. For some reason, I like doing that. Okay, ta-da! Just adding some white, whatever. If you don't like it, you can paint over it. So, just add in some white blotches here and there. And there you go. Ta-da! Sunflower. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So, I am going to take a couple of photos and I'll drop it in the comments. And yeah, let me know what you think. This is just a really, really simple and fun sunflower, and really anyone can do this at home. It takes, how long have we been busy? Half an hour. And just get some paper, get some paint, and just get painting, and let's see what happens. Oh, and if you're interested in, if you don't know what to buy, if you're interested in a craft kit, let me know. I'll make one up with the template and the paint and the brushes and everything you need, and I will send it off to you. So, thank you all for watching, and let me know what you think. My first live tutorial, and I think it came out okay. Hopefully. Let me know what you think. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.